Hey guys, gonna do another boil, paper boil, and this time I am using the Artist Loft 90-pound paperweight. Since I've done the 140, I know how that does, so I want to see how the little cheaper, little thinner stuff does. Now I've got some things from the kitchen, I've got some things just outside, and I've got some flowers that are pretty well dried up from my mom's birthday. And also, oh, where is it? Here it is. And I also have some different teas. So, and I'm going to do it a little differently. I didn't, last time I boiled it for like hours. And one of the subbies left a note that I could do it in the oven and do the same thing. So I think I'm going to do it in the oven this time. And this is a poinsettia. It was on somebody. Hopefully they won't mind I pulled it off the bush. But I'm just going to start with that. And I'm just going to start laying these things down. And I think I'm going to try and leave this intact, but smush it a little. There we go. Okay. I'll leave that gooey stuff on my fingers for a little while. Hopefully I won't forget about it. And then get a few of these. Let's see. And just, alright, another piece. I'm going to also try and do more this time than I did last time because I went through them pretty quickly. Alright, here is a pretty dried up yeah, but what do you call them things? Oh, for heaven's sakes. Yeah. I can't remember what the heck you call them. So we'll see. And I am trying to keep in mind, you know, that I'm pretty much going to be using these in journals. So I want to have, things, you know. This is just a piece of randomness that my dog brought in, so I'm throwing that on there. And here is some spider plant. Fresh off the plant, and that might look good there. All right, there you go. Let's see what else I got here. Here's some roses and some of this really pretty I don't care what all falls in it. Those are pretty dead and dry, so there's no telling what you might get out of them. And here is I'm going to keep some of these for another one, but there's a rose and some petals and some very dry leaves. So we'll see. Maybe the drier they are, the less that you're going to get out of them. Maybe it'll be more potent. I do not know. And here's some, oops, let's see, let's just drop everything on there. How interesting is that? Some sticks, some little rosebuds. There we go, we'll save that. And put that flower right about there. We'll see what that gets us. Got some more leafy greens. And this is off the, I don't want everything. There we go. And let's, little tiger lily leaves around on this. Got a lot of dead stuff in here. So now these are dried tiger lily leaves, but these never got opened up. So I am going to kind of, oh, and they've got the, how fun is that going to be? They've got the little spots that get, of course there's no pollen on them right now, except for its own pollen. So we'll see how that changes. There's some more of that. Let me take 1/2 of this side off so we don't get too thick. There we go. Okay. More paper. I don't know how many sheets that is. Let's see. Let's put a few of these on there. And some leather leaf. Let's see. Put the leather leaf there. Alright. Now, a little different. I want to do this. And we'll put another piece on. And bring this back over. And see what that looks like. Okay. Next one. Let's do this real fruit strawberry tea. Now, my parents might like that one. Let me see. I think I've got a couple in here they don't like. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? Here it is. They don't like this red raspberry that much. And I think what I want to do is open this tea bag up. And sprinkle that on there. So we'll see what that does. Just leave that just like it is. Oh, I'm running out. Let's see, what else do I want to do? I got some of these leaves. No. Pull the leaves off. And you always want to make sure you got some of the stuff. You know how when you're stamping, you stamp off the page. So you want some of your stuff to be going off the page, you know? So just trying to think about that when you're placing some of this stuff. All right, so we've got that. Let's put a little of that there. A few little sprigs. There we go. Okay, let's see. I've got 3 more. Like that. Let's try this one now. I've got coriander. I've got fennel. I've got paprika. And I thought this is a very colorful, you know, I think I have to put enough to make a difference. So I want to see what those will do. And then I have this on 2 of these. And let's see, this might be kind of interesting to put in between this. Kind of a botanical scene. Again, I'm going to have a little bit of that going off the page. Okay, and last one. Oh, let's see, what am I going to do on top? Let's do this. Just kind of cut this off so it's not sticking out. There. I'm going to do this. Oh, you hush now. My parents' little dog is telling me he's hungry. This. This. And I think I'll put just a piece of paper. Come on out of there. On top. That's got some good color on it. No, sir. And then I'm just going to take the cover and I'm going to put this down on this. Okay. I'm going to fold this over. Oh, I didn't use the other one of that. Let me just put this over here on the other side of where that is. Okay. So there's that. Fold this over. And I think I'm gonna set it up pretty much the way I had it last time. And I'm sorry, oops, I didn't have this part prepared. Okay, so I'm going to put this down. It's going to basically hold almost the entire grouping. And I'm going to put this, which is full of water, on top. And that's a pretty good weight now. Now I'm going to fill this with water, and I'm also going to put a cup of vinegar. So and I am going to use apple cider vinegar this time. Find my cup here. And get water. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's put the water. I'm going to need more water. Put the apple cider vinegar in. And then I know what else I'm going to need. I'm going to put the oven on to 350, I think. And we'll see where that takes us. This has got holes in it, so it should be allowing that to drain pretty easily into my paper. So I want my paper fully immersed. I don't know, that is not quite enough weight on there. It seems to be, I'm also thinking I'm going to take some more of this red raspberry, and I'm just going to chuck them in there. In different spots. Kind of messy today I am. Here, let me just pour this until I have an ample amount of water, which is basically my paper's immersed. There we go. And then we fill this back up. And then I'm going to put it in the oven. And I will fill you in on how long I cook it. I think I'm going to do it for a couple hours and then turn it off and let it soak overnight and then take it out in the morning. Not positive, but I think that might be what I do. Okay, guys, I'll see you in a little while. For you, it'll be seconds. For me, maybe a good night's sleep in between. Okay, guys, bye. Oh, I forgot. I'm going to show you this, and then I'm just going to slice it into, or, you know, to place it into one of those sheets. Got this in Happy Mail from Leslie at Creative Paper Pizzazz. And she was going to, she got them, she's got several different ones, I guess, to try in Paperfoil and see what it does. It's very silicone-y, so hopefully it won't melt. But that's what she was going to try it on, so I'm going to go ahead and stick it in, and we'll see what happens. Bye. Okay, then we've got the leather leaf. Oh, that left a nice little grouping of stuff. And those were some more rose petals. Some of the rose petals did better than the other ones, that's for sure. And then these little things, I think that left some nice patterning as well. And I'm just going to keep going with these. They need to be rinsed. You need to get rinsed off, but just so you can see for time's sake. So, looky there. That's kind of nice with the flowers. And we got some of the petals of the grasses here. Get this one. And I will come back and show all of these to you as well when they are dry. So just some experimenting so you know that, you know, dried things do not work as well as, you know, very fresh. But they do still get a little bit of life in them. I just didn't want them to go to waste. Okay, now here's the spider plant. It left a neat marking, but I don't see too much of a color. And then these were those mini carnations, which is the word I could not think about when I was putting these all together. And it did leave a very cool pattern. That was a little bit of moss from a tree. And look at the cool color. Oh, that I'm going to have to try more of. That's cool. Alright, and I think this is our last one. Wow, look at that. This is the poinsettia. Let's place this over here. Yeah, this was that poinsettia. And you got to remember now, the poinsettia is, the stuff that comes out of it is poisonous. So make sure that whatever you're messing around with it, you wash your hands and stuff. And these were just some little plants from outside, and I don't see a whole lot, but again, you get better results after they dry. So that's it. That's the last piece. And so I'm going to rinse all of them off, and I'll bring you back when they're all dry. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you in a minute. Hey guys, so I just wanted to, I pulled this out of the oven just a little while ago and drained it. I'd say about 3 hours ago. Drained the water out of it. I did throw a couple grapes in there last night just to see what it would do. Okay, so now you are seeing this being unfurled just as I am doing it. I'm going to get a napkin here just to pick up some of these. There's a one of the tea bags. Pull all that stuff out. Okay. Open this up, and here is the cover that is not watercolor paper, but it actually turned out with quite an interesting piece on it. And I will rinse all this off in a little while. Well, it didn't get any color really, but definitely interesting. So it seems like the older the plant is, you're not going to get color out of it. Let's see what we got. This was a rose. Oh, we got some color out of that rose. And then this was one of the lilies. There we go. Get all that up. Let's see what this one did. Nothing. No, that would probably work drying, leaving it on drying it, which I think I'll try and do. Alright, so let's get this piece off. That made for a very interesting page. I'm just going to stick that back on there and see how we work. Alright, and again, putting these on for effect didn't do anything, but I'm going to leave them on to dry and we'll see what we get then. But these certainly were nice little tidbits. See if I can get this one up. Now this 90 weight paper did hold up considerably well. I'm just going to leave those sit there. This one's definitely going to have to be wiped, washed off because of what was used there. So let me go ahead and wash this one off. Okay, so it looks like I didn't get anything from the paprika and the coriander seed and all that. Didn't get anything from that. I'm going to go ahead and wash this off. And we'll see what else we've got left. Okay, we actually did get some prettiness from the back side, so that's good. So that saved that page. There we go. All right. Let's see, am I still under here? Go ahead and... So these leaves didn't do much of anything. These little things. I don't know, it looks like there's a little bit of a... Yeah, these leaves didn't do much of anything, and they were good green leaves. They just most of this prettiness is coming from underneath, I think, but you know, you never really know until it dries. All right, and this was the tea that I sprinkled, and I am just going to leave that one. And it does give you this kind of purpley green color. I mean, purpley grayish color, which is nice. And it even looks more blue. And it's a raspberry tea, so explain that one to me. All right. So we got that across a couple of pages. Just put that there. And this left a little bits of something. And this is very thin now. I mean, it's very easy to stick my finger through it, so I'm having to be really, really careful. And I know I have to pick this up in order to get this. And you know what? It might have left, you know, I think we did get something off of this. I don't know if you can see that or not, but definitely when it gets dried, you'll be able to see it. So there is that, And I will rinse that off. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to have to arrange things a little differently here. So I just wanted to show you, well, the first thing I wanted to say is duh. I finally started taking these out of the coffee pot every morning after coffee was made and rinsing the coffee, you know, throwing all around the grounds, rinsing the coffee out and letting them dry. And so now I have coffee stained coffee filters. Never thought of it before. There you go. And you know, they flatten out. You wet them and then just flatten them out on the counter or something, and they flatten right out. This one I scrunched up to see what it looked like, but yeah, so there you go. Anyway, this is what happened with all of my natural, you know, eco dyeing that I did. This was 90-pound paper, and I tell you, I definitely think it's worth doing it with 140, although this did make it through okay. You have to be, I did rip 2 of them, I think. You have to be a little more careful. Now this one, I gotta see if you can see this. This one had the leather leaf from the flower arrangement, and bits and pieces of the roses, some leaves. So that was that one. This was the poinsettia. The only thing was this paper does have, it's starting to go away, but it had a smell to it, and I'm thinking it's this poinsettia. You know, that stuff that boils out of the poinsettia. But it did make a really pretty stain on there. This was where I had a little piece of moss, and I just threw it on there last. And that interests me a lot. I think I'm going to try some moss next and see what that gives me. But not a whole heck of a lot came out on this one. This one did get a little thin in some spots, but did not tear. This one I had some of those bigger leaves just laying on it, and I did get some, and there's one of the rips out of it. This was sitting on top of the tea that I just opened the tea bag up. This had all of those little wispiness things out of that flower arrangement. And I think these were all the rose petals. And to be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure what that was. Pretty nice. So I'm very tickled with them. Very tickled with them. Got some interesting things on them. Some nice leaf patterns and stuff here. I think these were just the mini carnations that I had. Okay, now this one was where I had the paprika, coriander, fennel seeds. Didn't do anything. Did not do anything. This is it is kind of rubbing off as it dries more. So I mean, they're dry now, but yeah, didn't do anything. Did get a little thin, but I think I still can use those. I think it'll be fun to use those, but again, nothing very interesting on that one. And then this was the other big one that got ripped up. This was, I think, some miniature carnations and then a big stem. That's where I sprinkled the tea down. Raspberry tea comes out blue, purpley blue. I'm not sure what you might call that, but I love it. Stick from the back end there. Now this is where I had set the big piece of lace, and then I had one stick set on it. But you can see I did get quite a bit of that lace design on there. This was very close to the T because it's got that still that same color. Nothing really through the backside much, although you can see some of that. See, you can see some of that lace pattern coming through. This was the other side of the poinsettia. There's some nice greens and such. That was a big rose petal there. Some different leaves, and these were rose leaves. They did really well. And these little wispy plants, I'm just not sure what those were called. This is where I left the little band of these little things. There was a band of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And then there was also, let's see, you can kind of see it here. There was also that starred one. I don't know that you're getting much of it, but you can see a good bit of it. And then this other one you don't really see very well at all. I can just kind of make it out, but only because I know it was there. Not because anybody is going to be able to go, oh, isn't that pretty? I do have the piece that that ripped off, so I can try and fix that. And then this was the top bit. Again, this was all rose petals. I do not remember what made this. And then this was it was the iris. No, not the iris, but those tiger lilies. The tiger lilies. They were pink tiger lilies, and that's what made these purple. And then this was this side. So this was where I had the piece that was on top. So I'm still going to be able to use this, even though that's the back side of it. I can put coffee dyed paper on the back. So anyway, there you go. I just wanted you to see how it ended up. I'm quite pleased with those. You do still, even though the flowers are drying up or almost completely dry, you are still getting some fairly good color, or at least some nice staining from them. So that was it. I just wanted to see what I would get from some of those, and nothing from fennel and coriander, and I thought paprika would do something, but it didn't. Alright guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye!